Welcome back to the Snowpoint Today we're going to be looking at a 2008 match between myself and Trevor Reed. I'm going to be on the left playing Empozong, and Trevor's on the right. He's going to be playing Plox, or Gardevoir, or GG. So one of the best matchups in the format. I've only played a little bit of 2008, but I really enjoy this matchup. It's like probably one of the closest in the format. Empoleon Bronzong versus Gardevoir Gallade. It's just really close. Both decks have a lot of options to do lots of things with. So I'm going to win the coin flip here with the tails going first. Trevor starting a Duskull and something else. I think it was a Baltoy on his bench, but I'm not too sure. So yeah, going first is actually a pretty big deal because it means turn 2 you get to attack with Prinplup. So Prinplup's attack, Aqua Shower, just lets you do 10 to your opponent's board, which is like really vital for the rest of the game. Setting up Bronzong damage and just setting up KOs in general. So we'll see what I start here. If I can start a Piplup, just get all I really want is an attach here. And I do have that Piplup start, which is really nice. And yeah, Trevor's got that Baltoy on the bench. So I'm going to be able to attack for free no matter what, because Piplup does have that free attack. I do have the call anyway, so that's much better calling on turn 1. Switch your deck for 2 basic Pokemon, and then your turn ends. So really solid turn 1 there. Pretty much everything that I could wish to ask for. Another Piplup, maybe a Baltoy. Maybe another Bronzor, depending on what's in the hand. Probably a Baltoy, though. I mean, Baltoy's not super useful, but also it'd be a different situation if Trevor went first and he got an energy on a Ralts turn 1, because then he'd be shutting me off before I even had a chance to get a Claydol. But he doesn't even have a Ralts on the board right now, so he might not even hit the turn 2 Gardevoir, depending on what he hits this turn. So you go for the Baltoy, because, you never know. I don't remember what is in my hand, but if I have a Bebe search or something that lets me find a Claydol, Celios network or something, that I'll start drawing, which is really nice. All I really want to find is the Prinplup and the water next turn. So Trevor's he's got some stuff for sure. He's got a Celios, he's got a call. Probably just gonna Celios for a Ralts and then attach the Psychic. That's the conservative play. It makes the most sense. Really would have preferred to have a Roseanne's research here to find another basic, maybe another Ralts or something. Oh, he's got a Candy. Gonna go Candy. Gonna go for something. Ralts. That makes a lot more sense. Oh no, he's just gonna call. So he just Celios networks for the Claydol and then he calls for the 2 Ralts. Interesting option there. Kind of opting for the later lock, which is okay. I mean, the call energy is really good in the. He doesn't really have much else in his hand. He has some stuff, but I think that's a pretty fine. Rare Candy, so he's gonna attach and then put some cards under and hope for the Gardevoir or an out to the Gardevoir. So it's actually a pretty good turn 2 hand as soon as he gets the Telepass off, because he knows that I have the Roseanne in the discard. Or no, he didn't before, but now he has that option to get whatever supporter that I play, which is really nice. So I am gonna find that water energy. Gonna see what else I can grab here. Honestly, the board's looking pretty chill. If I can just find a Prinplup, I don't know if I have one in my hand, but if I have a Prinplup in hand, this is going to be a very chill turn 2. But it's not really looking like it. Looking like I'm probably just going to go for another call here. No, I do have the Celios. No, I had the Celios, but I did have the. So just going to go for the Cessation Crystal to lock up here. Really solid play, just to hope that. I mean, I know Trevor has the Claydol in hand from the Celios the turn previous, so I'm kind of just saying, unless you have a Windstorm in your hand or a Warp Point, not gonna happen this turn. And he is gonna Steven's Advice for a fat 6, which is amazing draw. He's probably gonna find at least some cards that he wants here. He's got a Candy in his hand. He's got an Energy. Got many things that he can do. Yeah. Also has that Cyclone if he really wants to get my Piplup out of the active. Not really good right now, and he really doesn't want to touch the Cyclone to the Duskull, so he's just gonna go for the Psychic attach on the route, which makes the most sense. And he does have a lot of resources. He's got a Bebe Search. He's got a Jolteon Star. Some stuff. Jolteon's not really useful right now. More of a tech card for one-shotting Empoleon. Can be really important though if you're hitting. If you have 2 energy on a Gardevoir and one of them isn't a double rainbow, or they're both not double rainbow rather, you hit for 60 with Psychic Lock. So 60 and then another 60 on an Empoleon is 120. So it's short of a knockout. But if you have the Jolteon Star, you can just knock out Empoleon. So he's just gonna opt for another call here with 2 more Ralts. Just gonna set up his game, and we got a real game going because we both used call energy twice. So we got a full board, 4 Pokemon searched from only call energy. Really, really solid card. I wish they would reprint call. It's such an amazing consistency card. A lot of decks, especially like both of these decks. The fact that you can just fulfill the attack cost for either Dusknoir or Ralts, Gardevoir with a call energy and a double rainbow means you can have the call turn 1 and then still have it be like one of your efficient energy costs, which is really nice. I do find that Prinplup, because I have the Celios network for it, and then I'm going to just go water attach on the Prinplup, and I'm kind of just loading my board here. I'm ready for a dual splash next turn as well, if I find that Empoleon. So I'm just going to put 10 on everything, which is really solid because Trevor just loaded his board up. So we're going to put some damage counters on it. This is pretty much exactly what you want to see as the Empoleon player. And also, I mean, like, he is right to do that. I think getting your board filled out is good because it means you have lots of options for attackers. I don't know about going full, but yeah, still got lots of options here. He does have that candy. Probably has like a Celios network or maybe a Bebe search. Well, see if you can find a Gardevoir. He really just wants to be getting that telepass going, because then you can just get a Celios network or a Roseanne's for free, and then you're never really worrying about your Pokemon search or your energy search. Both of those are things that you very much want to see consistent. Not that your own, I mean, Guardy's a really good deck just because it's consistent in itself, but also the telepass ability just means you can have some crazy double supporter turns. So he does find the Bebe here, which means he's going to be able to go for the Candy Gardevoir, go for the telepass. Not sure if he has the double rainbow. I think he does. And I don't have that Claydol yet. I haven't gotten to use that Claydol. So it'll be really solid to lock up here if Trevor has that out, which he does. He has the single retreat on the Duskull. And then I saw a double rainbow in his hand, so he's probably just going to go for a Guardy here. And then go for a Candy Gardevoir, and then Psychic Lock the Empoleon. Or he's actually going to go for a Dusknoir. That's very interesting. So it means he might have a Warp Point in his hand. If you can Dusknoir this Empoleon back, is very, very good. If you can Dusknoir, I put the Piplup up for sure to keep at least one energy on board, but that's really, really solid no matter what he does. If he has Warp Point, Candy Dusknoir. Very, very good. What he's got, he might have topped the Gardevoir, and he might have had another candy. I didn't see exactly what his hand was off the Steven, but he had a hand of like 12, so he could have some crazy card combos going on here. Yeah, I think the Dusknoir is actually a fine play. So he's going to go Cyclone Energy. Yeah, put the Bronzor up, which I guess, yeah, it makes sense. He's going to take all the energy back off the Prinplup, which is a solid play. And it means that, I think I just have the out to Bronzong. And at this point, I don't really care about anything but loading the board up with damage. You just want to play a long game here. My 6 prizes are already laid out on the board. I'm already putting damage on everything, and I need 6 prizes. So you kind of have to, with Empozong or any spread deck in general, you kind of have to plan out what your long game is on what your prizes, especially with Empoleon. Like, you have dual splash, you have so much control over like what you're hitting. So just knowing, most of the time it's energy, you want to hit their energy, but Dusknoir or this Claydol might also be, depends on the board, right? Like, if I miss a Cessation Crystal, going for the Claydol at one point could be correct if I KO it, so it kind of just depends. I'm gonna go for the, I don't know what that attack is on the Ralts. I think it's Smack, not sure, but he's using the Ralts attack, just hitting the Bronzor, who unfortunately has Dark Weakness. Not going to be hitting it for Psychic Weakness. Nice. I do have that Celios network, so I'm just going to be able to get the Bronzong, be attacking for free. One of the things that's really nice about this deck is you don't have to have energy attaches on Bronzong to be able to attack with Bronzong. So the Piplup is going to be going down, but if I just put an energy on another one of the Piplups, it means that I can still keep the dual splash option open for next turn, and then also not be afraid of Dark Palm, because Dark Palm is guaranteed going to be taking one of my bench Pokemon next turn. So as long as I can get that attach, the other Piplup I think will be okay. And I do have that Psychic. It's not the optimal attach, but dual splash is only 2 energies, so at least hitting that one attach on the Piplup is not so bad. And I do have that double rainbow energy as well, so it opens up for a Surf Together, well, depending on what my hand is, what the board can be. It's not looking too good. I see a Cessation Crystal there. Probably should have benched that or put that on before attacking. I think locking here is probably better to stop the Dark Palm, but keeping it's not so bad either, because I put an extra damage counter on the both the Dusknoir and the Claydol because of Cursed Alloy, Bronzong's Pokebody. In between turns, put an additional damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon that have a Pokepower. I'm pretty sure it's in between turns. Yeah, really, really solid. So I don't know. Locking is pretty good too. Keeping the energy on is pretty good. So I don't know. I think that was probably a bit of a misplay from me there, but Also, one of the first times I've played Empozong, so it's got kind of a tricky deck, especially at the level that these two decks have to play with one another. Like true 50-50s, I think really come down to skill. So making little good plays like that, or like missing a play like that, like I just did, got the candy. Yeah, I was like, candy. But can be the difference between, having a solid like board state, and I'm gonna be going down an energy here because of that misplay. I'm not sure if it's a misplay because the damage is good. I want to be aggressive, but yeah, I think keeping the energy is probably better. So I probably would have gone with that cessation crystal, even knowing that this Bronzong is likely going down. Keeping those powers locks, and stopping the telepass here. He's getting 2 more psychic energies. Then he also has potentially an out for Claydol. I think he has too many cards in his hand, but the Dark Palm especially, being able to stop that would have been. But regardless, we're still in a pretty decent position because we did get that attached to the other Piplup. So depending on what we draw, if we can hit like Candy and Empoleon energy, gonna go Dark Palm on the Piplup with the water, which makes the most sense. So yeah, hurting a little bit off that cessation crystal miss, but we'll see what we can have off this raw and 3 cards. See if we've got something that we can do. If we have another Bronzong, it's actually pretty clutch because Guardy doesn't one-shot a fresh Bronzong, but Guardy does one-shot a non-fresh Bronzong that has damage. It's a +20 weakness to Psychic, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's +20 Psychic, so he doesn't have a double rainbow on there either, so he's not getting reduced. But at 60 + 20 is 80, not 90. I'm pretty sure the Bronzong's got. One shot that is definitely really, really important. And the damage from the Relts earlier, yeah, 90 HP earlier from before is really, really important. But it's not really looking like I have that. That. I'm just going to go for the retreat into Bronzong and then go for another pain amplifier. Just put another damage counter on everything. And then another additional damage counter on Gardevoir, Claydol, and Dusknoir. So, honestly, not such an awful board position. The energy is kind of hurting me a little bit. I do wish I had that Cess Crystal there. But I'm also in a super fine spot. Oh, we hit the Lake Boundary. So Lake Boundary is actually a really important card in this matchup. It lets you get around what I was talking about before with Bronzong having to get 2-shot. If you're getting 2-shot by a Guardy, the amount of damage you're dealing on the board is like an insane amount. It would have been something like many, many more damage counters. So being able to hit the Lake Boundary makes the weakness for everything ×2 instead. So instead of that +20, he's going to be hitting me for a fresh 120, which is going to knock out this Bronzong and kind of force my hand, force me to hit something, either a Prinplup or an Empoleon, so I can stay in the game. But even if I just hit a Prinplup next turn, that's kind of not so bad either. What we can get going here, I go for the fresh Claydol for 5, which is really solid. And then he's going to go Candy Gallade. Well, so Trevor's in a really chill spot. He is up on prizes now, so he's not going to be able to just use a Scramble energy and start hitting me. But he does have the option to just start going attach to the Gallade. The really nice part about Gallade is you do so much damage that you can just slap on a double rainbow, and usually it doesn't matter because you're just KOing through it anyway because you have such a high damage cap. So honestly, not really mattering though, because he's got the Psychic Lock, and he's probably just going to maintain it for now. I mean, this Guardy isn't within threat of being knocked out unless I need Candy, Empoleon, Double Rainbow Energy, or Scramble Energy, and then another benched Pokemon. And then I can one-shot this Gallade with Surf together, but only if I have that exact combo. I only see 3 cards in my hand, so I'm going to have like a Steven's Advice or a solid draw card to be able to hit that. Claydol's not going to do it because I'm getting Power Locked by Psychic Lock. Trevor's going to go for the Psychic Lock KO on the Bronzong with Lake Boundary. I did top deck a Roseanne's, which at least gives me something, but I'm going to go for that Celios. Probably just find the Prinplup and then going for the Aqua Shower here, because unless he actually has no way to one-shot me because he doesn't have an energy on the Gallade. If he put an energy on the Gallade instead, that could have been deadly. I don't know if he would have done it. He probably just would have kept Psychic Locking. But being able to, if he one-shots the Prinplup here, I probably just lose. So the fact that he doesn't have the energy on nice means that he's still in a good spot because he's able to Psychic Lock for a number of more turns. But this also buys me a turn and keeps damage on the board. You just want to keep chipping because eventually you can take a big turn, or like soon I can take his Claydol out if I attack with another Bronzong. So we're just gonna see what Trevor's got here. all he really wants is just an attach. I know he has that psychic energy from the turn before. Telepass. He's got Telepass for Celios or Copycat or Babies. He doesn't want to go Copycat, but he's just going to second Psychic on Gardevoir. He's just going to go with the Power Lock out this game, which I think is good because I have a Baltoy in my bunch. He doesn't really want to open up for a Claydol play. He doesn't really want to let me get Cosmic Power off because I'm not bricking, but I'm also not bricking. So you never really want to let your opponent have powers if you know that their hand is even mediocre. I'm gonna go for a Roseanne's. Probably just gonna grab an energy. Oh, and then this is his Telepass. The Telepass is gonna be for Celio's Network or again. Yeah, he's just gonna swing at me for 60. Pretty solid. Do have that Moonlight. I don't know if I want to play. I mean, the Lake Boundary. It's only really good against Bronzong, but this also gives him free retreat, which I don't know if I want to do. Keeps him, lets him move around. So you got to think about that. The Moonlight Stadium would have benefited Trevor a lot more than me in that instance. So playing it to benefit your opponent, not the correct play for sure. That's something to keep in mind with stadiums. Is my instinct was just play this to thin it because you don't want to draw it, and it's not really useful right now. But you have to consider if it's useful. Give your opponent that advantage if you. For refresh, I think it's draw 6. Got some decent cards there. I really want to see the Empoleon and the energy, but I don't think I see the Empoleon, which is going to be a bit of a bummer. I'm going to go for the retreat into Baltoy, attach call, and go for a call, which I think is a super fine option, especially if I have a Bronzong or a way to find a Bronzong in my hand. Again, I just want to keep that constant lock going. I guess I'm just going for the single Piplup, unless I have a Bronzor prize. Unless I have, Bronzor. That makes a lot. So it opens up for some plays. I hope to have the Moonlight Stadium. There is only one index, and I don't think I saw it in the hand. But even just the damage, I'm going to be killing the Claydol, which is really nice. And then I'm also going to be putting lots of damage on other things, opening up for some dual splash KOs later. But yeah, Trevor's just going to be satisfied with chilling here and Psychic locking. I'm going to put a double Rainbow Energy on that Glade to be ready if I drop a Empoleon if he needs to do that. He will have the option to go Telepass for Roseanne's for Jolteon if I do attack with the Bronzong next turn and kill it. He's just going to go for a Claydol for 2, see what he grabs. The routes will be going down in 2 turns unless you can find an evolution that as well, so I really would like to see that. I can also go Empoleon double Rainbow Energy, would also kill the Routes and the Claydol, so I might do that for the double prize KO. It puts me on even prices with Trevor, so it doesn't really open up for him to have any crazy Scramble Energy plays. Kind of want to play around if you can. Scramble Energy is such a good card. You don't really want to let your opponent go behind on prizes, especially in a format like this where Scramble Energy is so vital. But Trevor's just going to go for the Psychic Lock KO. I'm going to promote Empoleon, and then see what we got. And I think I just top deck Bronzong, so that's actually a great top deck. Yeah, I think we just Aqua Shower. That just makes the most sense. And I'm going to go for Steven's Advice for 7, which is very, very nice. Yeah, the Aqua Shower. It kind of sucks that I have to Aqua Shower here, but I think I just have to Aqua Shower to keep damage on the board. I'm going to go down another prize, but if I'm able to get some... I need to find the Moonlight Stadium before I put this Bronzong up, so that it doesn't get KO'd. But I do find that Cessation Crystal, so it's going to stop Trevor from using Telepass next turn as well as Claydol, if that's something that I do. Then I'm also just going to go Rare Candy into a Prinplup, so that I have that option to just go Empoleon next turn. There is some hand disruption in this format, so that's part of the reason that I did that, is because I was ready for a Team Galactic's Wager. My hand is relatively sizable right now. I think I have an 8-card hand. So just being ready to be disrupted when you have a large hand like that, it seems like not the right play. It seems like it's not something you want to do. Oh yeah, this is super fine. Much, much better. Probably should have held the Cessation Crystal here, but also the damage with Cursed Alloy is a lot right now. I'm paying the Gardevoir, 2 Gardevoirs, a Dusknoir, and the Claydol for damage. So I'm honestly having that extra damage is almost better. But it's tough to say because consistent energy attaches is so good for Guardy Galade. Just gonna go for a Pain Amplifier for a single prize on the Claydol, and then knock everything else up 2 notches as powers. Cursed Alloy, so lots of damage there. And the Trevor's going to promote the Gardevoir, and he does have that Lake Boundary in play. But this is kind of my game here, right? Like I have this Bronzong that's going to go down, and then I have 2 Empoleons that can probably clutch out the rest of the game, depending on if I can hit the energies for them. But Surf Together could be enough to start swinging for KO on these Pokemon now. That's something else to keep in mind with this deck is you can go Dual Splash and Aqua Shower and Pain Amplifier, Cursed Alloy, and then later in the game, if you're at a position like this where everything has like 5 or more damage counters on it, Surf Together might be enough to just one-shot the Pokemon now that they've had a bunch of damage dropped. So I really want to see that Ralts not have another evolution. Like I really want to see him not evolve it at all. Then I get another free prize with the Aqua Shower. I'm going to attach Scramble to Gallade, Gardevoir, just to get it charged up, ready to Psychic Lock. And not having to have a double Rainbow on there is actually really, really pivotal. Like I said, with that Jolteon turn, if I am able to take a knockout on this Ralts, it opens up for him to have a Jolteon, unless he finds a Kirlia or another Gardevoir to prevent that. What he can get. Overall, looking like a pretty tight game. I've only taken 1 prize, but something to consider with Empoleon Bronzong is your late game, you don't really take prizes quickly. You take them all at once, essentially. Or like multiple turns. You take like 2 and then another 2 and then whatever. But that's important to know because your scrambles are usually more useful. But also, you just have to realize that you're not going to be taking prizes, right? Like this board state looks kind of bad for me, and it is kind of bad, not going to lie, but it's also I'm able to come back for sure. Like it's 3 prizes to 5, but the damage on Trevor's board is a lot more significant than the damage on. I'm able to, hit some Empoleons, hit some energies is what we really need. I want to get like Empoleon energy so I can dual splash next turn. I kind of want to just kill that Ralts and I don't know, maybe put some more damage on the Guardy. It kind of opens up for some cheeky Bronzong plays at the end of the game because if he doesn't kill me here, I can go attach, attack, retreat to the other Empoleon, attack with that, retreat to the Bronzong, attack with that if I find another Bronzong, and then go back to the Empoleons and force the game through Empoleons because he only has 2 prizes left. But if he goes like, let him kill the one Bronzong and then let him attack one of the Empoleons and then other Empoleon, it just buys you more turns of attack. I'm just gonna wait with the Copycat. Scramble Energy, that makes a lot more sense. That opens up for some big plays here because I am down on prizes, and we might want to just go for the Surf Together KO here. Hitting the energy for a KO is a pretty solid plan. Trevor is now out of KO range with the Gallade. If I'm able to retreat this Prinplup into the other Prinplup and I find an Empoleon, I'm really just praying for an Empoleon at this point. If I miss Empoleon, this turn's pretty big. But yeah, at least he doesn't have a one-shot option, so I have a couple of turns where I can potentially just buy some turns here and see what we can hit. Go for search in the deck. Oh, the Copycat. Yeah, I put it back in. Not sure why. Yeah, I don't want to draw that. Want to have it in the discard because that is a little bit cheaty. But sometimes accidents happen on the board. Pokemon's sometimes it's actually a really simple game, but sometimes it's easy to make a mistake. And technically, if you shuffle a Copycat in your deck, that is definitely cheating. So we're gonna discard that. But drawing a ton of cards because against Guardy's got a massive hand a lot of the time. I do find that Empoleon, which is really big this turn, might just go for the Aqua Shower, but I think probably retreating and going for the Dual Splash is better to get a... Aqua Shower is pretty good, but not dying is better, so retreating is probably the best. And that is what I decided to do, is the better option. Forever is opened up for a Warp Point play here, though, so he can just go Warp Point and then Psychic Lock KO, which would be really good for him if that's... card that he has in his hand right now. He does have a lot of cards. I drew like 8 or 10 off of that Copycat, so he does have some options in his hand, and I don't think I've seen him play a single Warp Point yet, and I know that deck plays at least. That would be a really good option for him. And he does have the Guardy level X. Double or a call and a double Rainbow Energy, and look how thick that hand is. He's got some resources there. So I'm just kind of considering whether I want to do Dual Splash or I'll go for the Dual Splash on the Dusknoir and the or set and go on the other. I just want to hit the energy. I'm just opening up for a Bronzong turn. Bronzong Cursed Alloy with Pain Amplifier is going to KO that Guardy. And now I'm also not... well, actually, the Bronzong is within knockout range. If I'm able to hit that, I'm just keeping it in mind because it might be a play that I have to do in the next couple turns. A dual splash. So I think maybe killing the routes here was actually better because now it gives Trevor another turn of potentially having an evolution card there, which can prevent a prize take for me, which is all Trevor really wants to do. Either if you can just prevent prizes and keep putting damage on my board, I'm going to run out of Pokemon that can not get KO'd before he does, because he's got some more options for sure. And he's ready to do that Hard Feelings as well, another attacking option with this deck that's really solid. Hard Feelings, for each prize card your opponent has taken, put put 50 damage counters on 55 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon, and then for each prize card your opponent has taken, put an additional one. Might be 60, I'm not sure, but Hard Feelings, solid late game attack, but I haven't really taken any prizes yet, so it's not gonna be super vital. He's just chucking the other Guardy active. Probably just gonna hit me for Psychic Lock for another 60. He does have that level X as well, which stops that Guardy from being KO'd by a dual splash, so it is actually a pretty big deal here. I'm gonna have to hit some more basic Pokemon that don't have damage. The fact that Empoleon has Psychic Lock damage on it, the 60 already there, pretty bad. It means that it can't really go up without pretty much getting one shot. The Gallade can one shot it, or if Trevor gets a bench spot open, he can go Jolteon Star and one shot it. Go for a Telepass for Copycat. Yep, and threw a bunch of cards. Then he's gonna go for a basic Psychic Lock, and that level X is actually pretty big. I'm gonna go for Celio's Network. Probably gonna go for a bronze. Oh, Piplup. I must have a Bronzor piece prize then. Because yeah, that'd be pretty good. Get a KO on many things, and he did hit that Candy Glade as well, which is very, very bad. So I think that was another small misplay on my part. I probably should have taken the prize in the Glade. I still would have been down on prizes, able enough to Scramble Energy. But this Candy Empoleon is actually a pretty big deal as well. Like I was saying before, I needed more Pokemon on the board, and the fact that I hit another Empoleon means that I don't have to, like, if Trevor has a Warp Point, he's not just going to kill the Empoleon on the bench. I do have an option here. I'm probably just going to go for a Surf Together here, because I do have that option, and it just KOs. And I do have that other Scramble Energy as well, so that's actually looking pretty good. Honestly, not so bad of a turn, all things considered. I'm in a pretty decent spot now, because I thought I was a fair bit behind, but I can definitely make this back now. And so I'm gonna go for the dual splash there, and probably just hitting the active. Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure about that one. I think killing the routes definitely would have been better, because then I would have been down to 3, and then my game would be Dusknoir, a Gallade, and Gardevoir. Gallade is actually not that big of a threat right now. It's only one-shotting after a Gardevoir, and I think it's fine, but it only really has one opportunity to do significant enough damage to one shot. Don't know why he would do that instead of teleportation, but that's okay. Sometimes you just forget about teleportation. And he's going to go for the Hard Feelings here, so that's actually pretty good as well. Yeah, and then I can't one-shot the Dusknoir either, so he's just going to be putting loads and loads of damage on. He's going to be taking one of his last 2 prizes here, and I'm going to be forced to promote the non-damaged Empoleon, and then it opens up for a Warp Point turn for Trevor if he's able to hit a Warp Point next turn. So he's just going to go Telepass for a Steven's Advice, draw a couple more cards. Yeah, and then he's going to go for a Hard Feelings KO on the Empoleon. Promote the fresh Empo and draw. I did draw an Empo, so I think my Piplups are all in the discard, so I don't actually have an out to hit that, but I'm going to go for a Steven's Advice for 5 and see what I can draw off this. It's probably not going to be enough. I need to hit some Pokemon recovery, to be honest, if I'm able to stay in this game. I want to find a Night Maintenance. Would be really, really nice. But also, if I had another Bronzong out, that might not be bad. Kind of bad, because now he's at the point in the game where a Guardy can one-shot me. The Lake Boundary. But if I could have that Counter Stadium as well. And luckily, I did hit the Cessation Crystal, so it's going to stop Telepass and Teleportation. If whoever wants to put Guardy back in the back. Power Lock me, which you do. And I'm probably just going to go Surf Together here. Yeah, Surf Together, which makes the most sense. Just take the energy out. That is the big threat. It was dealing like the most damage a turn, which is really, really not good. So I'm just going to go for the Call Attach and the Gallade, and for the Warp Point. So he's just going to go that, and then flip the prize for the game. Yeah, so this has been a match of 2008 between Plox, or GG, and Empozong. If you have any questions about the matchup, feel free to leave them below in the comments, and I'll do my best to get to them. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.